r/AskReddit, serious, what is your take on the new federal rule stating that non-competes are now unenforceable? I think it's great, but I was under the impression non-compete clauses were largely unenforceable in the vast majority of cases already. Codifying it will protect people from being bullied by shitty bosses, which is the main benefit for most people. Yes, they were mostly unenforceable, but regular people don't often know the details of laws and are likely to go along with what their employer says. Good. Non-competes were historically used to abuse the working class. So I'm glad they are dead. I'm just shocked our government is doing something positive. Also, this is amazing. While I never had to worry, I had a lot of peers that were kinda stuck because of non-competes. The harm done to employees by non-competes is likely to be far greater than the harm done to employers by former employees. Of course, some employers are damaged when an employee leaves. On the other hand, all employees are harmed by non-competes. Good riddance. I've seen companies make non-competes for jobs they had no business making non-competes for. A local university gym made its personal trainers sign a non-compete, meaning they could not work as a trainer or fitness instructor in any other gym both during their employment at the university gym and for 6 months afterwards. Then they were shocked when most of their training staff quit. A whole bunch of morons for a university fitness center. When fucking Jimmy John's makes their workers sign non-competes for food service, you know that the point is to fuck over the workers. I'm a musician. A company that had me as a seasonal hire tried to make me sign a 3-year non-compete clause. For a gig that paid maybe $2,000. I crossed it out before signing it, but it's outrageous what companies think they should be able to get away with. My state has had legislation that makes non-competes illegal since 2019. I'm actually surprised the federal government caught up so quickly. It should have happened a long time ago. My old boss tried to make it to where I couldn't work in IT support for 10 years in our state and all the states bordering our state. All they were really used for was to keep pay low and abuse employees. If you don't want an employee to leave, fucking take care of them with pay raises, a generous PTO package, none of this bullshit unlimited PTO, and a good work-life balance. The last non-compete I dealt with was after working for a large construction firm for several years. They asked me to sign a non-compete and I actually left. When they reiterated the request for me to sign, I said if they paid me $20,000 on the spot I'd sign it. They never brought it up again. Thank God, it's about time. It's absurd that an employer can dictate what other jobs you're allowed to take, or not. $20,000 is way too low a price. Would that cover your salary plus insurance and benefits plus consideration for the gap in your employment history afterwards? Non-compete agreements can make sense in some very limited situations. If businesses had kept non-compete agreements exclusively for those specific situations, they wouldn't be banned. However, businesses wanted to use it as an employee retention tool instead of as a tool to protect actual trade secrets. They abused their tool, so it gets taken away. It's overall a good thing given the number of people I know who thought they were bound by a ridiculous NC at one point or another. Several times I've had long conversations convincing people that your employer has no real hope to bar you from working in your field. That said, silly NCS used to be a great way to weed out bad employers. It was like they were raising their hands to say, hey, before you take this job, just so you know, we're clueless and shitty. To all the upper management complaining that they can no longer substitute non-compete agreements for trying to make people actually want to keep working at your company, you brought this on yourself, now go fuck yourselves. That's what the money is for. You pay me to keep working. You also pay me not to work for someone else. I think it's great. I never liked these silly non-compete agreements anyway, and my understanding is in a lot of places they weren't enforceable to begin with. Good riddance to bad rubbish. It's long overdue. The real onus should be simply that with the NC comes an employment contract that pays you in full for the length of the non-compete term, with all ancillary benefits included. If you don't want me to work, then pay me. This clause is used to stifle competition in the workforce, and yet one more example of US free market capitalism not adhering to free market principles. Most current non-competes are broken when taken to court already. But the company has the ability to litigate the case to death just to make an example out of you. / former employer. It's like your ex having a say in who you're allowed to date after a breakup. Abject ignorant abuse of power and usurper of freedom, 0. Sanity, 1. There is no reason other than an abuse of power, or a whacked out legal counsel, that employees working in non-trust or even proprietary work should be limited in any way from leaving a firm and seeking other employment within the field. Feels appropriate for a free country. I guess it means I can finally leave this dead-end job. People will job hop more. Companies will try harder, pay more to keep their technical folks. Overall very positive. I think it's long overdue. If you want to keep your employees around so badly, treat them better. Fellow workers, let's be sure to remember what administration delivered this in November. Love it? It's ridiculous to lay off an employee and then prevent them from trying to get a job with a similar company using similar skills/knowledge. Of course, similar companies will be competitors. Layoffs should hurt the employers more than the employees. Maybe it'll make them think twice about layoffs. Is the money saved worth sending your internal knowledge to competitors? Probably not, so layoffs should be an absolute last resort, not an annual gift to stockholders. I always signed them, no one ever enforced them. Glad it's 100% now, but it always felt like 100%. Good. Time to start looking for a new job. I'll accept a non-compete agreement when the company accepts a non-termination agreement. Absolutely love it. I work in a rather niche industry, so a non-compete clause would completely screw me for the set amount of time until I could work in the industry again. But that's usually the point of non-compete clauses. To screw an employee for having the gall to leave. Especially in the US with the whole healthcare tied to your job thing. Good. EFF that rule. I think it's good to severely limit the circumstances when which jobs require employees to sign no-compete, arbitration or non-disclosure agreements. It's fine to agree to any of those things if you're a highly skilled individual who can negotiate for millions in compensation in regard to signing any of the former. It shouldn't be available in situations where the employee has no other options. It's not a rule just yet. And will likely get some revisions before it is. After the vote, these things take time. But it's great. A business cannot take away your right to find another job without first guaranteeing that job. And since they seem entirely unwilling to do that, instead simply laying off mass amounts of workers whenever their executives need a boost to their bonus for that quarter. I'm real glad the FTC told them to F off. Yeah, the only time I've seen non-competes work is garden leave, where a company pays you to not start your new job for X amount of time, usually 90 days. Effing fantastic. 9 out of 10 non-competes are abusive. TBH 1 of a million is not abusive.
Hey guys, it's Reddit Glitch. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. I just wanted to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button because according to my statistics, 98.8% of my viewers are not subscribed, which I think you should subscribe because it's free and we're going to have a lot more bangers in the future, so subscribe. Again, thanks for watching. Bye.